What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dev Talks. This episode, we're going to be going down through everything that happened in WWDC24, Apple's yearly event that comes around in June, that area all the time. And this video, we're going to go over the top 10 features or stuff that just was revealed. And when I say top 10, I'm not going to be like, oh, VOS got an upgrade, Vision, and that's Vision OS, or iOS got an update. No, we're not doing that. We going into particular stuff. Apple Intelligence was a big thing that got released and that they were showing us about, but I'm not going to put Apple Intelligence at one because there's certain things that Apple Intelligence does that makes the list. So I can't put I'm not doing it. We're not doing that over here. We like to get into the nitty gritty of everything, and let's just dive straight into it. So I hope you guys like this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It all helps, really does help us grow and build this community up even bigger. And with number 10, and this is going to go in order from worst to best as well. Some stuff didn't make it. We don't have any honorable mentions. But number 10, Nod to Siri. Now, Nod to Siri made this list because I felt like it was a pretty significant update to AirPods and how Siri works. And how I'm ranking this is how significant is these changes? How do they help us? What are the capabilities of impact of further in our lives? How useful are these new updates and these features? So that's how I'm ranking this stuff. So Nod to Siri is 10. If you didn't see it, it's basically when you can respond to Siri by just nodding your head, yes or no. You ever be in a gym and you want to tell Siri, or you get in a call or something and you're in public and you don't want to talk out loud, you can just nod and the AirPods that you have will be able to sense the movement in the correct direction to tell Siri yes or no for you. So pretty small change. They didn't go over it too much besides just an example, but I feel like that's something that's very significant. It's a major update. It's not something that we've had before. It's not like, oh, it's a new version of something. This is actually a new thing that's been entered in. And I actually don't know of any other headphones that can monitor your movements on yes or no's. And one thing that I want to know is if this is going to be able to work on Beats too. Apple does now own Beats. So is this AirPod exclusive, or is it going to go to Beats eventually too? That's what I'm very curious about if I'm in the gym, if whatever, I don't know. And so I guess we could see you can probably pick up the phone accidentally by just rocking out to your music or whatever, but we'll see how that goes and things. Number 9, iPhone mirroring. Now, this one is so far down because as far as like the significance of it, I didn't weigh it at that greatly. Obviously, it's at 9. And it was just something cool to see. Now you can mirror your iPhones onto your Macs and do whatever work you need to. And you can still, while mirroring, have your phone out. Your phone stays locked. You can do other stuff on your phone at the same time or have your phone doing something at the same time that you're using the mirroring on your Mac. So it just seemed like just a cool, just generic update. Like, we have all these screen sharing stuff nowadays. It didn't seem like something that was astronomically new and mind blowing, but that's number 9 is definitely the iPhone mirroring thing. It's still, they're doing stuff. Mind you, you've been able to use emulators and stuff for the longest time. So this is just like something that's easier to bring into, like, it's just an easier connection to do it. And they revealed it. So that is 9. All right.
8?
So for 8, I'm actually very upset that I have to rank this low. It's just the other features that Apple released, I feel have way more like to do for general people and not just for people like me. I'm a software engineer. So this particular feature at 8, I love to an extreme degree. And that feature is the Vision Pro's ultra wide monitoring thing. And why would people think that that's such a big thing for me? So as software engineers, I rarely know software engineers that only use one monitor. We all love using multiple monitors. It's just a true fact. And right now, I even have two monitors right now. And when I was first looking at them, one of the monitors I wanted was an ultra wide monitor. But guess what? They're so expensive. So, how does this change everything? This change everything because with an ultra wide monitor, well, we can one, it's built into the Vision Pro. So if we start buying Vision OSs and we want to start doing coding work and things off of our Mac, we can bring up all our tabs, Vision, like we can have all our Visual Studios up like this. Mind you, people are going to start working this way eventually. If it works out the way that Apple wants it to work out, people day to day jobs will be wearing Vision OSs at home, have their ultra wide monitor up. They can have all their work tabs open or development tabs open. They can have documentation over here. It's easier to see everything, and you don't have to spend all of that extra money on each individual monitor. If the Vision OS can process everything, you can have all your coding projects up and things, and that's why I love this feature so much, and I wanted to put it up so much more. Trust me, I wanted to put it up so much more. And I probably could put it up what's going to go at number 7 because I just love it so much. So maybe we'll do a switch, but right now 8 and 7 they're neck and neck for the most part for me. Because I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the Vision ultra wide monitoring tool that they added into it, or they're going to be adding into it later this year. But that was the biggest update from VOS for me. So that's number 8. Number 7, math notes. I wish I had this when I was in school still. And if you really look at the world that we're going into right now, school, the way that school is built now is completely irrelevant. These new AI tools and stuff are going to be able to make how we do schoolwork irrelevant because not everything's problem solving anymore. You can literally, on the math notes thing with your iPads or notes, you can write in the equations and do a bunch of stuff by hand. Mind you, teachers want you to show your work, right? It's going to solve it for you. You're going to know if you have the answer. It's going to exactly solve it for you how you wrote it. I think it's overpowered. So this leads to how are we going to be able to change schooling and stuff, because this is going to affect schools just as much as generative AI has with OpenAI, making stuff way simpler. It's maybe hard to write in certain equations and take a picture and put it into generative AI exactly, but now you can just write it on your iPad. Most students already have iPads probably. Most students already have all these Apple products and things. So how are you going to change it as a teacher so that kids are learning how to actually learn and think for themselves versus just using all these new tools for them? If I had this calculator, I'm always in, as engineers, you always have all these different levels of math, discrete math, doing everything like that. If this was able to start following those rules in the classroom, you just solving the answers right there. You get your work done quickly. You'll get done your schoolwork so quickly. It's just a big update, I feel. And yeah, that it impressed me. I mind you, it really impressed me. Number 6, not in the top 5 yet, but this just barely missed the top 5 because the top 5 is the top 5. So number 6 is scheduling messages and summaries. Why is this so big? I literally am a person who doesn't like to continuously have to remember to text somebody. And mind you, when this event first happened, I was joking about when you're scheduling text messages about how you know how you have to send a good morning text to like your significant other every morning. You don't even have to remember anymore. You can just schedule them out. And like I've joked about it and things and stuff, and you'll never forget again because you can just set up a schedule to do it for you. And instead of just waking up, because you know you have those days sometimes, you just wake up, get out of bed. You're not on your phone like you're supposed, like you're not on your phone. You're getting stuff done. You're going straight into work, roll out of bed, start working. You gotta do stuff. You just get straight to your day and things, and you might forget to text somebody, or somebody's birthday's coming up. You don't want to stay up until midnight. Just schedule that text. Boom. Making life easier. And I rank this because how it makes life easier for you and people. Like you can have stuff sent at different times. You can text people reminders. Hey, yeah, like they need to come to an event. Hey guys, remember this is blah blah blah. Next hour or something. It just makes life easier and stuff. And that's why how I'm really ranking this stuff. And the other part of this ranking was the summaries part. We all know how when our phones get blown up by a group chat and we really don't care about what's we don't want to read all that sometimes. Sometimes we just really don't want to read all of it. So what do? We Hey, summarize it for me. You summarize it for me, oh, I'll get the gist of what they talking about. Either your name comes up or something, and you see that you have to be included in the convo, or you don't, because it's summarizing all those texts and stuff. If somebody sends you an ultra long paragraph, hey, summarize it for me. Some people don't like reading all that. Or so, how helpful is it? I think it's pretty helpful being able to schedule and get these summaries. So that's how I made the top 6. Now for the top 5, we're in the top 5 now. These are the best of the best features, in my opinion. In my opinion, let's take it there from WWDC24. And number 5 is photo cleanup. Photo cleanup made top 5 because, and it's not something that would put it even further, because early this year when we covered the Samsung event, we saw that Gemini does this on Samsung phones, and it's been doing it already for a significant portion. It's been 6 months now, about 6 months almost, since it's already had this feature. But now Apple and iPhones, you're able to do it as well too. And some of these AI features that were put into the Samsung phones, some of you've been following me for a while, you would know that I wanted to make a switch because of some of these extra features. Now Apple's adding these features on top of it. Hey, what is Apple normally known for? Sometimes it's their camera and things, and now it just gives us more features for the camera to use, and it kind of is closing the gap between some of the Android phones. And how is it closing the gap? This is one of the things. You get features that are similar so that your product can still be worth more and stay up in the competition and things. So that's just something I did. Clean up, just basically removing anybody out the backgrounds and getting all the unnecessary stuff out of the way. 4, I've clapped a bunch this event because it was very exciting. This is probably one of Apple's best events, but I was the most nervous for this event this year. I was so nervous for this event, but I think it was Apple's best event. 4 is App Tint. And also being able to move the apps vertically and stuff. Apps aren't no longer locked in that straight, horizontal 4 rows thing. It's not locked that way anymore. You can customize your screens and your wallpapers exactly how you need to. And App Tints is such a wonderful feature because now I have this background. You know how hard it was to find apps, like trying to get the widgets so that I can get darker apps on my screen or change the colors of it properly and stuff. It is annoying. Now with App Tints, it can either go tint your phone straight into the color. It also has a dark mode and a light mode. So you can put the apps into a dark mode, you can put the apps into a light mode. And the tints, you can change the colors. You can change the colors, or the tint can match your background photos so that it just looks the way you want it to be. Like, where has this been? It's such a... That's why it's 4. It would have made top 3. It wasn't my top 3 when I first started making this list. But where has this literally been? It hasn't... Android's been doing this stuff for, like, moving apps and stuff around, but I literally, save me the time. I don't want to go out there and spend hours customizing my apps. I don't have time for it. I don't. This is such a helpful thing. And this is another thing that's going to help want people to upgrade to be able to move to the different iOS versions or new phones so that they're able to get all the features and have the best of what they have. Top 3 now. AI and Xcode. They didn't really go over how this was going to work much. CEO, he didn't really dive into it. He just brought up how like OpenAI and generative AI is being used within our within Apple, and how they're using whatever you say and to be able to get prompts back, and how they're using it to boost up Apple Intelligence and all these things. He brought up AI and Xcode, and why I have this in the top 3 is how helpful it would be for me and other developers, especially with Vision OS out now and being able to create Vision Pro apps. And this this is a game changer for actual developers for Apple. And how it changes the game and how it updates it is more apps are going to be able to be created more efficiently, cheaper, and all of the other stuff. Because hey, you can be like, hey, you could have gone into ChatGPT just to ask these questions and things like that. But the thing is, it's not fully integrated. Having AI fully integrated into Xcode, which I'm hoping that the way that it is that it will exactly be able to siphon through the documentation, help you out with all your questions. You won't need as many engineers. It won't take you as much time to figure out certain solutions. You can really figure out what you want to do at a way more efficient level. And this helps Apple more because hey, the easier it is to develop apps for their systems, the more popular this products can become. We've seen in this event all the different apps that have come to the VOS, and I keep on calling it the VOS. It's Vision OS, but still, that's just how I think of it normally. And it's just something that's very big as far as how it's going to change. It mainly helps engineers out. It's not more of a general update like most of this other stuff has been, but to me personally, it just feels like such a big thing to have, especially if it works the way it's supposed to. One of the things I wished we got more of a demo on how to use it directly during the event. Like, give me a little something. He kind of brushed by it really quickly, so that doesn't give me too much hope. But at the same time, I believe it's something that's going to be very great, an awesome update, and we're just gonna go up from there. And it helps me out a lot too, so I can't complain, not at all. Number two, numero dos, vitals. When I first made this top 10 list, I didn't put a single thing from Watch OS into the list. And I had to rewatch the watch section a few times because me personally, I don't have a Apple Watch. I mean, I have one, but it's the first gen. So I haven't worn an Apple Watch in over 6 years almost. And I know a lot of people who do wear them, how it can be helpful and things like that, all the health stuff that's a part of it. But vitals is, I feel like, was extremely important to so many people on a general level because it's going to measure how, like, all the tracking stuff that it tracks, like CO2 intake. I think it does like a water intake thing. If you're going above what your usual is, then it tracks all of that. I think it tracks blood alcohol intake or something during the event. And we got just a little preview of what vitals is supposed to do, but being able to keep track of your health at that level, I felt like was very important, especially to the general public and to everybody who wears Apple Watches. And I just can't believe I skimmed over it as much, and I didn't know where to put it on this list, and it just made it to the top 2 for me. I don't know how, but to me, vitals was just number 2 when I really thought about it from a general standpoint of how helpful this is for everybody. That's where I put it. Don't get mad at me. I don't know where you guys will put it. I don't know if it would make your list, but hey, keeping track of your health is very important. At the end of the day, we all have one body. We have one life. It's the real world, so that it's just very important to me to have that kind of information, and especially for the people that I know that have Apple Watches and stuff, for them to be able to track it properly. I feel like that's such a big upgrade. Number 1. This is what we've all been waiting for. And if you haven't guessed what it is already, I'm sure you probably can guess it now. Genmoji. And it feels kind of silly to put this here, but literally being able to generate your own emojis and keeping them stored, oh my gosh, you will never it the biggest thing that I've always talked about when it comes to some of these phone companies on their events, communication. We had scheduling texts and summaries and stuff. That's big on communication. Hey, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're finding out how to change the game regarding communication with the Samsung Ultras and how they were like elevating communication and using communication. Go back and watch my reaction to the live stream that happened earlier this year. I'll probably leave a link in the description to it if I remember, but communication is definitely key. And being able to just generate whatever you want out of an emoji. And then also, you can take pictures of your friends and turn your friends into emojis and do stuff like, or I hope you can do it for yourself as well too. Like just take whatever picture of a person and turn them into emoji, like, and create your own different kind of emojis and things like that. It just updates more personality and communication, and I feel like it's something that's really fun that everybody's going to use. I think everybody who owns an Apple device is going to use this. That's why it's number one. Most of these features, hey, everybody might not use it. iPhone mirroring, everybody's not going to use that. The Vision Pro ultra wide monitor, everybody is not going to use that. Math notes, everybody's not going to use that. Scheduling messages and summaries, it's most likely people are going to use it. Scheduling, how often will it get done? Who knows? Photo cleanup, everybody won't probably use it. The app tint, who knows? A lot of people will use it. Maybe not that many. AI and Xcode, everybody's not using it. Vitals, everybody doesn't have a watch. Everybody's not using it. But you know what everybody will use that has an Apple product? Genmoji. Tell me I'm wrong. Go in the comments right now and tell me I'm wrong and say you won't use it. I feel like you're lying. You are literally lying if you say that. It's such a big update. It's so great. And hey, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. When people start texting you all sorts of crazy stuff and different emojis that they come up with, it's such a big thing because not only is Apple pulled themselves out of being able to be reliant on what emojis are created now. You can create your own things now. Don't ask Apple. They basically said, don't ask me to create no more emojis for you. You guys can all do it yourself and share them. So, hey man, that's top 10 right there. Let me know what you guys think. What would be your top 10 in the comments? If you agree with my top 10 list, let me know. How would you rearrange my top 10 list from this event? Please let me know and all of that. But without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it, please. I want to know what everybody thinks. I want to know what all your top 10s are. I haven't seen anybody else's top 10. This is purely off my own dome. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. And without further ado, peace. See y'all.